Hi, this is Autodesk Revit Architecture Elementary course. Here in Unit 4, Lecture 4, we're going to have our first midterm exam solution. And I'm here solving the questions for you for the first group of our midterm examination system. I specifically here refer for the group, Sunday group actually, in Ajman University. And it's been a long time since we've been recording. Sorry for that, but as you know, it's like 1 week for the midterm examination period, and then like 2 weeks for the holidays. Basically, in our first example here, midterm example, we're aiming for making this very basic two-story house, and sorry, we're gonna run through a couple of steps starting from these sheets. And as you can see, it's 4 grid vertical and another 4 horizontal. So again, as long as you see the grid, and as you see, there is no columns. So those walls are actually load-bearing systems. So the grids are specifically for the walls, not for the columns. So it's a good idea to start up by the creation of grid 6,000, then 200, and 5,000 by 5,000, and those sequence here. So let's go and have a look at Revit. But before a quick look here, you can see it's 6,200. So we understand that this drawing is based on a millimeter system. So it's a good idea to start up our Revit with a millimeter file. So let's have a look here. So I'm gonna go here and then new and projects and browse for a metric system. We've done that a couple of times. I'm gonna have default metric, which is basically a millimeter system by default, but you have nothing to lose if you go to manage, and then from the unit setup here, you make a double check here, it's millimeter here in front of the length. Anyhow, now we go to architecture and we start creating the vertical grid, and basically there are 4 of them. So that's number 1, and here number 1, it's 6,200 and then couple of 5,000. So I can go ahead and copy that to 6,200. And then copy that again into 5,000, and then into another 5,000. You can just hit multiple in case you just stop repeating yourself by this couple of clicks. I'm going to move that to the middle. Try always to center your work according to this elevation signs here, and then you go ahead and make the vertical ones. And in it, it's really a good idea to double check here because it goes as in 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5. So change this to the alphabetical system or ABCD. Now it's 5,000 by, I think, yes, 6,000. So again, I'm gonna go multiple here with concentrate, so it's gonna be vertical. So 5,000. You can write that down, and then 6,000. And then some crazy number, I think 4,790. I don't know where is that number came from, 4,750. But we're just following the whatever the example has. Now, it's really good idea is not to trust, that you create them correctly. So before you go ahead and jump and start building your own walls, you lose nothing if you just click those dimensions and then push them up, and make a dimension out of a dimension string out of that, and you look at 6,200, 5,000 by 5,000, and the same thing here, ladies and gentlemen. So just a couple of clicks, so you did well. Don't trust that you didn't enter the numbers correctly. Fixing the dimension here and the grids are just a piece of cake, and it's gonna be really a piece of hell if you forgot, and then you add lots of doors and windows over there, and walls, of course. So now we need to do the walls, and if you look at the examination paper, it's here. It's a question of creating two-story building. I'll leave that for you to chat. That's the division of the grades. And then the second question was basically to focus on the curtain wall system. That's not my point I want to look at here. So the exterior wall is basically 40, 20, and then 200 of a block, and then 20, and then 20 mil of a gypsum. That's cool. So stone, 40 and then 20, and that's the exterior wall system in a total overall of a 300. So if I go back to Revit, I just can pick up any generic wall you can have in here, duplicate that guy, duplicate it here, and then in the name, just it's really good to name as you go by a logic, same number that you have. So 40 of a stone, 20 of Sicoreed, and then 200 CMU or blocks, then another 20 here for another Sicoreed, and then another 20 for gypsum. I highly recommend it to add your name so you can remember later on that you created this wall. And now in the structure edit, it's really a good idea to go here in front of the structure one. That's, as you can see, it's a highest hierarchy here. Come over here, and if you write in the material anything stone here, marble, whatever, some of the material you might not find. So you can just have a look again, and you can just duplicate you can just duplicate any material you like and then change its name into the correct one. So if I write CMU, for example, and that's the concrete masonry unit, I can just select that guy, and from here create new material or duplicate selected material actually. So it's gonna be the same, and I'm just naming it a stone here, or whatever you want, actually just keeping that marble, whatever you want, whatever type of naming you use here, I'm just keeping as it is. So I'm gonna hit OK, and the thickness of it actually 40. Of course I'm actually in the wrong place. That's the structure, sorry, that's my bad. But we make the thing, it's 200, sorry. Again, that's an actual CMU, so CMU. And let me double check again. So yeah, the core here is this one, of course. That's the load bearing system. It's a thick block system, 200 mil, and it's the same as CMU. You can just rename the CMU into blocks if you like. Anyway, I'm just gonna keep it. That's the structure, that's the concrete masonry, 200 mil. I'm gonna insert the material here and then pushing it up above the core. Remember, it's a load bearing system, and that's the structural part. That's the most important material that's gonna carry the weight of those slabs and the carry weight of the wall itself. Here, another one here, so that should be the stone that we talked about. So again, just the stone that we just create, this guy, and it's 40 mil, I guess, and another 20 mil for the Sicoreed, and you just write here Sicoreed, and here we go. And now this, of course, that's the stone or marble or whatever exterior finishes you want here. It's gonna have to go for finish 4. That's the exterior. And this guy here, the substrate, you can choose also finish 4, or you can use a substrate system because it's just a fixing material. So both are actually correct. Finish 4 and also the substrate. Anyway, you can go ahead and select a new material. I'm pushing it down and then inserting a new one. And now this guy is the same as this guy. So it's also either you go finish 5 because it's interior this time, or you keep it substrate. Here you go concrete Sicoreed, and here you go 20, and here another 20, and it goes here for finish 5 material, which is an interior, and of course it's gypsum, so JYP, and it should have given you the only available gypsum board material here. So if you look here at the overall total, you're gonna find it at 300, which is the same as been provided for you here in the examination paper. Now hit OK. You can have a look at the material here, and of course that's the two cores around the material itself, around the origin here, the structure, and that's the substrate, the Sicoreed here, the gypsum, and here you guys for the final finishes or stone here for the exterior finish. You can switch that to a section system, so you can look at that based on section, and of course that bluish thing is whatever you select, so you recognize which layer you're actually selecting. Hit OK and hit OK again, and now the key issue that most of the students fall in this, it's like a trap actually, is this wall center line. You should have picked always in this condition a core center line as long as it's a load bearing system. Now where to draw that, we're going to go back to the PowerPoint actually, the slideshow of it, and you can go like it's everything except this point, so it's fair and easy. Now if back to Revit, and then you click here and you move your hand and you don't see or recognize any layers you've been just creating, so just cut that out and just come here and make it fine, and then click again, zoom in, and as you see, if you go that way like this, you're gonna see the exterior finishes, which is the thicker layer, is up, so you are going okay. And if you click downward or you go counterclock, you're gonna see that the wall is flipped, so you just hit space, you know, like it's gonna go correctly, or that way. Now you should have flipped, you know, like with hitting one space as I'm doing now. So be careful when you place the material, not to place the exterior wall, the exterior finishes outside, the exterior finishes to the inside part of the whole thing. Now again, just a couple of clicks based on intersections, and as you can see, we're going really good. Now you created this guy, it's looked correctly. You see the center line is in the middle of the core, it's not in the middle of the wall, and that's a really, so if we go DI and you hit, you know, dimension, oops, DI, and then dimension here, and then dimension here, that's 100, see, and dimension here, and the dimension here a couple of times, see, it's here, it's in the middle of the core, not in the middle of the wall. That's the middle. If I go DI, that's the middle of the wall, so be careful of this. That's always making lots of confusion for the students. Anyhow, now if you look at my laptop, which is almost dying, I don't know why. So you see, now I see the shortcut, so just click this 3D button, and you might note that the whole thing is not attached to anything from the top constraint. So just hover here, tab click, and then just make everything connected to the higher level. Now, what is the higher level that we're just connecting things to it? It's really a good idea to do that first, which is going to the east elevation. And in the east elevation, you can go back to the PowerPoint, and as long as you see that the first floor, it's a good idea to look at the second floor, and you see it's a 3 meter, not a 4 meter or 3000 millimeter. So just select this guy and slowly zoom in until you see the circle and push it aside, and change that guy into 3000, and you might notice that everything has been changed dramatically or actually automatically with it. It's 3000, and it's again, the naming is correct. It's a level 2 and level 1, so it's again 0, so we're going okay so far. Now we might need to do the partitioning actually, so it's a little bit of a tricky thing here. So if you zoom in and if you zoom in here, you might see that this partition is aligned to the exterior face of, to the interior face of that wall. That's another issue to be, really careful with it. And the same thing is this guy is aligned with the finished face of here. First, let's create the wall, and then we, get busy with where to align it. So first, the specification of that wall. You might find that in here in the painting, in the question paper, it's paint and it's gypsum, screed, brick, and then screed again and gypsum. There's just paint from one side, and let's try to do that. So I'm gonna again take that wall, and again whatever type you like. So let's go a wall, and let's go any generic, for example, system you started from. Let's go here. Is it a masonry base? It's a brick base actually. Anyway, you can go ahead and start up from a brick, which is probably a better idea here, just to keep the core material as it is and then duplicate it. duplicate it again and just create the name. So it's a paint and what it was, I forgot. It's a paint, then gypsum, and the gypsum goes to 20, and then another 20 of Sycoreed, and then 100 of a brick, and then another 20 of a Sycoreed, and then another 20 of gypsum. And let's add another paint, just to make the headache more, and then write your name. Hit OK, and then change the edit here. And as you see, it's structure 1, so happily here, 100, just change the thickness. You need nothing to change, or nothing to worry about the material. It's already been selected correctly. Push that up. So that will go for a Sycoreed. And it's 20 mil. And of course, I'm gonna use substrate. Insert again, and this guy will be, I will be painting 5 here, finish 5 here. And it's gonna be gypsum. It's an interior finish material. And again, it's 20. And then you insert another material here. I'm gonna pick membrane. And here, I'm gonna just pick any paint you like. So any paint here, guys. I don't know. I'm just gonna go here and just create new material. In that material, I'm gonna rename, and I'm gonna make it paint. So that's it. And it's 0, it doesn't have any thickness, and we can go here and insert more material. And again, this guy will be substrate, and it's gonna be Sycoreed, and it should go to 20, and then another gypsum board, and so on. So again, finish 5. Be careful, it's finish 5 by finish 5. Both sides are finishing interior finishes because it's partition. Another 20 here, and the gypsum is again our main material here. Finally, if you push that down and you pick membrane, and I'm gonna just pick my name, which is the paint, and this one. And then you hit zoom in here. That's what we have. Hit OK, and then hit OK again. Now the common issue that I notice most of the students do, again, it's a core center line. That's what your hand goes with it immediately. Now if you start off from here, which is to here, and then you select, you think, oh, what I've done, what is this, an ugly business. So you said, okay, I should have picked exterior, right? Finish exterior. And then you say, okay, let me do a line, and I want this, or I want this reference, and make that goes with it. Notice here, now it's jumped happily. Most of the time, it's because of the joining, it shifted that guy with it. So be aware of the type of joining that you have when you select a group of wall, or at least when you select 2 walls. See, now they are actually joined, not joined, but if you select this guy, and you join them, I think it doesn't join yet. Yeah, anyway, so it doesn't join by any. So I believe the best thing to be done is to let me redo actually a couple of times, or undo actually a couple of times. Yeah, redo. The best way to do it is by not picking core here. It's a good idea to go finish exterior, or in this case finish interior. It's the same, just fit space. They are technically mirrored, and go like this, and that's it. As you can see, now same thing here. And again, I'm gonna select those 2 things and just align them to the second level and hit apply. So that's it for the exterior. Walls. And it's a good idea to go to 3D. That's what we have. And in the presentation here, or in the document provided here, you can see it's working perfectly. Again, it's really a good way to work if you think first about the constructional part and leaving the doors and opening and dimension and the roof to the last phase of the work. So keep going. Don't get distracted by doing windows and doors and furniture and everything else. Just keep the walls and slabs and partitions. So if we go up, it's the same sequence. And let me do first the slabs. So I need to do the slabs first. So the slab is basically tile 320, and then it's a concrete cast in place, so 250 the overall. That's easy. I'm gonna go again floor, and then from the generic I'm gonna duplicate that, and I'm gonna make 30 tiles and 20 separate, and then 200 mil of, what is it? Yes, 200 mil, actually 250 overall, so 200 mil of concrete cast in place. So concrete. Okay, and again my name to remember that, and then hit OK. So the overall is 250. That is going to go 200, and the material, the structural part of it, is concrete cast in place. So cast in situ here, or cast in place. Now insert, and then push that up, and insert, and then here again, this guy can be substrate, and this guy facing outside. It depends where it is again. So that's finish 5 or finish 4. Finish 4 because it's facing exterior. So that's the issue here. So let's assume that we are making the lower, exactly the lower level, or the lower slab of the ground. Of course, that's the lowest horizontal surface ever created. That's the lower level of the ground floor. So it's, of course, the top part of it will be facing the inside. So it is actually a finish 5. So again, the material, any tiles, I'm gonna go here, ceramic tiles, or this guy, whatever. Actually here, ceramic tiles. You can just write here tiles. And go ahead and pick one, and it's 30, and here it's 20, and it's basically a separate. So just SC, and the name will pop up for you, and the overall thickness is 250. Just hit OK, hit OK again. Now I will assume it's set to the outside edges, so again, it might not be the whole thing. Yep. So it's fixed, or it's just selected to the wall center line. Actually, I'm just going to use the align tool quickly to fix this. First select the target, and then select the object you want to move. Really easy. Select the target, and then select your object, and that's it. Look at here, it should be on level 1, and hit OK, and then finish. Have a quick look at it here, and you're gonna see it's here exactly, you know. So beautiful. Now again, it's same thing here, so you can go ahead and select copy that, or you can just go ahead and do the same thing exactly, and like place it to the first floor. Let's try with the copying issue. So if I go copy here, and then paste, align to a selected level, and then I selected level 2, you can see it's fair and easy, with one mistake, that the wall are actually overlapping with the slab itself, taking the same place. So you gotta select that, hover above, and select them all with a click, and then attach to the top. And as you can see now, with one shot, we imagine to attach all the walls to the top of the thing, except those 2 partitions. So probably with tab we can select this guy and this guy, and then attach the top of them to this. So now that's it. We actually finished the structural part of the ground floor. That's what we want. Now we can jump to level 2, but before we jump to level 2, you might notice that we didn't have the level yet. So again, go to levels, and in this case you need to have a look at the provided document. So what is the third level? It's 6000 with a 650, so that's too early for it. So don't go ahead and copy, because you're gonna create a level but not a flow. Again, another 3000, as you can see, and that's the 6000. And be careful, it should be bluish here, or blue, to indicate that it create a floor for you. You can rename that to floor or whatever, or roof, sorry. Now you go to level 2, and I'm gonna create the same wall that I have, and this guy, and this time I'm not gonna you can actually go ahead and use a wall core. I'm gonna use here finish exterior, because it's easier to be picked. So I'm gonna click here, and again I can't see anything, so make it fine, and again zoom in carefully like this. Is it correct? Yes. No, hit space. So now click to the endpoints. Careful of your clicks. Click here, because we don't want to select any of the hatches available for the slab. And finally here, lovely, isn't it? And same, we're just gonna select those 3-4 walls with hovering, and then click, and then select that attached to the top of this level, and that's it. Now we gotta go in level 2, or if you want in level 3, and again create another flow. And I'll try this time picking a line by line, so 1 and then 2, just to show you a different way rather picking them all, and like this. And I'm not placing it on level 2, rather I'm placing it on level 3, and then finish that. By the way, it's a quick look here, it's the same thing that we created. So finish, and hit yes to force the walls to be attached to the top of that. Now technically all our important geometrical part has been done, except with a couple of mistakes, which is this guy. It have interior finish up, and it have nothing inside at all, so it's just fair face concrete. This guy, that's the issue. Now this guy doesn't have anything inside, so it should be finish 5 down if there is any material down it, and above it also finish 5, so it's correct. But this part, it's facing exterior, so you should change or split that, and this guy to be created as finish 4. So that's what I'm gonna do. So I'm gonna split that here. I'm gonna trim this guy with this guy. I don't encourage you to work on a 3D, but if you feel confident, why not? Okay, so now again back to level 2, and this time you go to floor, you select this guy and you duplicate it. Duplicate this guy, and you can name it 2 or whatever. All you gotta change is this and make it 4. Be aware of this, really important. And again pick this guy and this guy, and then trim. Alright, so finish, yes, okay, and now go ahead and so that's the division here is really important. Now this guy, again, inside is finish 5, but in the side face on, but we don't have anything or any layer beneath the slab, so it's okay. Above it, it's finish 4, so you have to change this to the second type, because it's finish 4, it's facing exterior, sorry. So be aware that you might have more than one slab and more than one type of the slab when you design the whole thing. Now parapets, in order to finish that job, is, as we can have a look at the 3D, it's just I think it's a 1 meter parapet, and same thing here. Actually no, here it's 500. Yep, good. So again I will go to the second level here, and if you want and that's a big if, you want to use this guy again, and you should have changed the type and duplicate it, and you know that will be finish 4 by finish 4, considering not to use the gypsum board outside, you know, like it's really really annoying, really wrong. So I didn't specify anything in here in the question for the parapet material, and in the PowerPoint, if you look, it's just a specified thick material without giving the dimension. So that's your shot, guys. You can just go ahead, for example, and select this guy, maybe duplicate it as we suggested and make it 2, and instead of gypsum we just, maybe, I don't know, you can just go ahead and cancel it. That's just something different. Just cancel all and keep it just 20 secured or nothing, make it CMU Fairface from, you know, from the other side. So let's do that and hit OK, and then in the edit type I'm gonna just remove that guy and just that guy. Or you can keep them and change the gypsum into finish 4, because you know it's an exterior thing. It depends on what you like. Actually, after a second thought, I will just do that. I'll just rename that, and I'll keep the 20 mil secured, and then another 20 mil, let's say any tiles. Okay, so let's keep this so no one get confused. So again, so this guy will be wait a second, did I change the original material? Did I mess things up? Wait. This guy is, you know, gypsum, beautiful, 40, 20, 220 and 20 gypsum. Good, that's what we want. And did we create a duplicate of it yet? Yeah, that's the painting. Good. So select it again, duplicate, beautiful. So all what we need is this to be tiles, and all we need is this to be tiles, any tiles you like. Okay, I didn't specify anything, and here, and that's the most important. It should be finish 4, because both of them are actually exterior. So again, now you either go with the finish exterior, which I will do, and you specify that not to go to the top level, it should go to unconnected and 1000. And then the finish exterior, you go ahead and you create a wall here, and that's it. It should hit space and create that as, you know, as a wall. Now let's see what we've done. Oh dear Lord. So again, that's 1000. Cool. And just a quick look at it. So is it really the correct material? For some reason I doubt that. I really doubt that. Yeah, it's the wrong material, of course. So the wrong wall, I mean, sorry. Let's select them, and that's what we want. Beautiful. So when you select that guy and you go to edit, you will see that's a finish 4 by finish 4, both of them exterior. So that's great. Same technique to be used here. So jump to the roof or the level 3 and go wall, and make sure you are choosing the right thing, this one. Finish exterior. Keep zooming in, and I think you should make it fine here. And then finally you go into this guy, and then here, and then here. 3D, select that unconnected thing and just make it 500. Hit apply, and by that we got ourselves our finish, our exterior actually nice and finished. Forget anything related to the forget anything related to the doors and opening, and even the partition. Sometimes I don't bother doing them. Maybe I forgot here the partition, so for the first floor, let me do that. So it's just one partition here, and then one partition here and here, based on 4,000 by another 6,000, but how much it goes away from the other wall, it's 6,010. Cool. So I'm gonna create a partition, the same type that we just had in the lower level, which is this guy. Zooming in, the underlay zone, so it should go correctly, but anyway, I don't mind if they are different. So if I select this guy, I don't know where it is. I'll zoom in with the tab, zoom in again with the tab, and click at 6,010. Beautiful. Keep that, select it, and then push that to 6,010. See? Now randomly right click and select create similar wherever you like this and like that. Don't ever worry, just select that guy, and you see this dimension, make sure it's from face to face, and just make it 6,000. Lovely, isn't it? And then select this guy and just zoom in to make sure it's from the inside face to the inside face, and just make it 4,000. And that's it. Now we have the walls crazily high, select them, and then attach the top of them to the roof or level 3. And oops, you should have actually attached them by the attach tools rather than the connecting. My bad. So attach to this guy, and that's it. So by that we finish our first part of the midterm examination, and see you in the next video to continue that job. Thank you very much.